Yeah, I'll play the video.
Well, hi everyone.
Hi. That was a cool
Here
intro.
we are.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was amazing.
David, welcome. Thank you for joining us. As you know, guys, I will be translating. We will be talking about the Buga Sphere, all about the research. You guys, whoever is joining, ask all the questions that you feel like asking. And yes, here we are, touching upon a very important topic.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Nikki Anna Jones. And I'll just jump in because I'm just going to do it, right? Because I don't know how these like panels really go when you have to like take turns that much and stuff. But okay. So, hi, David.
Hi.
Okay. So, can you walk us through to start out with the chain of custody? Like, what date can we verify that the Buga Sphere was found? Like, by whom, all the way to how did Jaime get it? And where is it housed now? Can you give us kind of like the chain of custody?
Pregunta que si puede ser compartirnos de forma muy específica cuándo fue encontrada la esfera de Buga, cómo llegó a manos de Jaime, dónde está preciso, o sea, dónde está ahorita.
Claro que sí, con todo gusto. Antes que nada, quiero agradecerle a Nicky la invitación por estar aquí en el programa. Igualmente, YssaH y a todas las personas que están participando en este video que se está pasando en vivo. Les doy las gracias por la invitación y es una ventana muy buena para poder explicar qué ha sucedido con lo de la esfera.
He first wants to thank all of us for hosting him. He's very happy to be here with us tonight. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everything that will be unfolding in this co-creation. Entonces, hermanito, listo.
Muy
Ya,
bien. Sí, la esfera de Buga fue encontrada el día 2 de marzo del año 2005 por el señor YssaH, este personaje que vemos de playera amarilla, una gran persona. Él la recupera después de haberle tomado unos videos en donde se le observa levitando y según su narración, él piensa que chocó con unos cables porque no vio el choque de la esfera con los cables de alta tensión y es por eso que la esfera de alguna manera se desestabiliza y empieza a descender. Es como él la recupera.
Oh, YssaH, you're muted.
Thank you. Dijiste el 2 de marzo?
El 2 de marzo.
Okay, so the sphere appeared in the sky on March the 2nd. And it was captured by Mr. Jose, who lives in Colombia in the city of Buga. So he's normal treasure hunter. That's what he does normally. And he was there doing his thing. So all of a sudden, he saw something out of commonality, flying in the sky. So then he started recording it, and he saw how it hit the high voltage cable, and then slowly start descending to the ground. After that, he came, grabbed it, first, like try to make it like a safety protocol, like just by touching it quickly, and nothing happened, except, well, now I will go deeper into that. ¿Qué más, hermanito?
Después de que la recupera, él se da cuenta de que sufre algunas alteraciones en su organismo, le da vómito, tiene constantemente náuseas, dolor de cabeza, inclusive llega a perder temporalmente las huellas de sus dedos. Y decide ir al médico. Cuando ya se atiende, pues él ya, como sabe a lo que se expuso, decide entregarle la esfera a David Vélez, que es, David Vélez tiene una compañía en donde fabrica elementos que sirven para detectar metales. Entonces David Vélez le hace algunos estudios, pero se da cuenta que pues, no tiene los elementos necesarios como para poder estudiar la esfera. Él, por otro lado, tiene presión del público porque se le ocurrió publicar en redes sociales respecto a la esfera, y lo llegan a presionar de tal manera que lo obligan prácticamente, lo quieren obligar a que entregue la esfera a unas personas que según dicen ser los dueños, pero en realidad le querían quitar la esfera. Es por eso que decide hablarle a Jaime Maussan y ofrecerle que venga a ver la esfera. Todavía no se la iba a entregar, pero invita a Jaime para que vaya a verla, y es cuando Jaime llega con David Vélez, y entonces decide entregársela para que la estudie.
Okay, gracias. So what happened next is that he did have some symptoms after touching the sphere, after carrying it home to his home. He was feeling nauseous. His stomach was feeling really off, and he even, his fingerprints apparently had some, like if they had been erased, but not for long. It was just for a while. ¿Cómo por cuánto tiempo se le borraron las
Hey,
huellas?
babe, let me do a mic check. How's everyone hearing the audio right now? I'm getting a little background fuzziness.
I think if you mute David while he's not talking, I think the static is coming from him.
Exactly.
Wait,
Hermanito, ¿puedes poner en mute tantito
or do you have a mic that's closer?
tu audio en lo que no hablas? Porque se escucha un poco de interferencia. Sí.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Y si tienes audífonos y te los puedes poner, eso va a prevenir que se escuche la interferencia. Pero si no, no pasa nada. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to move ahead. So then, like he had a lot of move forward. He just had a few symptoms. So then he took the sphere to David Perez, also native of the Buga city in Colombia, and so that he could do some research on the sphere. Nevertheless, the equipment that David Perez had there was very limited. So he acknowledged that among all the pressure that he was having from the media, because the videos and the photos came out, so then they would call him nonstop, and he would even have calls from a group, a very specific group that would claim that they were the owners of the sphere, that they had reversed engineered it, And so then he said it's going to be safer elsewhere. So then he called in Jaime. Jaime came, went to Colombia, and after a talk, then David Perez thought that the best idea would be that Jaime kept the sphere for research. Hermanito,
I have a question about
You're on mute, David.
sí, no se escucha.
Yes, thank you. Entonces, Jaime visita a David y hacen un acuerdo. Quedan con la intención de que se hagan los estudios necesarios, pero con la condición de que esos estudios en todo momento sean expuestos al público. Fue la única condición que le puso David Vélez a Jaime para que le entregara la esfera. Y ya Jaime, para estas fechas, estamos hablando que Jaime visitó en el mes de abril a David Vélez, y en ese mismo mes a mí Jaime me busca y me dice que si le puedo hacer unos estudios a un artefacto que habían recuperado en Colombia. Entonces es ahí cuando yo entro aquí a realizar los primeros estudios preliminares.
You're on mute.
¿Puedes volver a poner tu micrófono en silencio, hermanito? Gracias. Okay, so then once Jaime is in Colombia, they agreed that he would be bringing, again, the sphere to Mexico under very specific conditions. The main one was that all of the research would be available publicly, because they have always had like this very specific purpose, which is bringing this to the people, all this disclosure forward. Jaime has been involved very much in ufologist topics. He's very famous in Latin America, and he has been in that like for 40 years. He's a journalist and a researcher. So that's why he got contacted by David Perez. So as soon as Jaime gets to Mexico, he contacts David, because David is an engineer who is specialized in metallurgy. So Jaime knew he was the guy for the job. And so then after that, David Avila started being very much immersed in the research.
Bueno, yo le pregunto a Jaime qué tipo de artefacto, y ya me dice que tiene espera. Yo preparo el diseño del experimento, es decir, todas las pruebas que le tengo que hacer. Y esto pues es para mí algo hasta cierto punto normal en la industria que me desempeño. Trato de incluir todas las pruebas que se necesitan para poder determinar la tecnología con la que fue fabricada la esfera de Buga. Adelante, hermanita.
Sí. Okay, so then, like the commitment, David's commitment to this research was to find a way that this sphere was created, as due to his vast knowledge on metallurgy, because he manufactures metal pieces for the cars. He has been in years for this. So then that has been his purpose, and that's what he will be sharing with us about what the discoveries that he has done regarding to this, because he has very solid theories of how this Buga Sphere was created on Earth. By whom? That's the question.
Okay, so I heard that you guys are. I listened to one interview with David and you where you guys talked about how you think it was actually molded, like in some sort of sand or something, and like one half was poured and then another half was poured, but there was no welding in the middle on the equator or the. So how does he think that it actually is stabilized together? And is it like is it just aluminum? I know there's a couple other little metals in there, but is this a common thing that we use? Like, what's the metal breakdown? And then was it molded instead of hammered? Because yeah. And then how does he think that it's put together?
Yeah, it was molded. Before asking David, because I just want to be precise on that. It's not that it doesn't have an equatorial line showing the welding. It's that it's not normally as when you put, like high temperature, like they do it now to put together two metals.
Mm-hmm.
It was used with another ancient technique, which is the wet sand that now David will be explaining. So again, what was your other question, Nikki?
Oh, that it was like molded, almost like it was like instead of pounded from like a sheet metal.
Yes, even poured, like the metal was poured like a liquid,
How can they tell that?
Silica too, right? I think that's one video said that was like a aluminum and silica blend.
Silicium. It's aluminum, silicium.
Yeah. Oh, okay. In another video. Okay. I was wondering.
Manganesum. Yeah, but I will ask. So
Sure.
it was pure. It was poured, and he knows why. And I don't want to be a party pooper, so let's David share it. Estás con. Ok, bueno, lo que preguntan es cómo puedes distinguir que fue hecha bajo la técnica que dices, que es de la arena húmeda, y qué elementos de metal tiene. O sea, qué metales tiene.
Sí.
La composición.
En cada proceso de manufactura tiene una huella digital, por decirlo de alguna forma.
Uh-huh.
Es decir, hay diferentes tipos de procesos por los cuales se puede obtener una esfera de este tipo. Uno de ellos pudiera ser a través de un molde de acero en donde se vacía lo que es el aluminio y se va a obtener una esfera perfecta porque esa inhibición prácticamente va a ser a presión. Entonces no va a dejar ningún poro en la superficie porque toda la presión que se ocupa para inyectar ese material va a salir a la superficie, todo gas. Y por ejemplo, la superficie de esa esfera bajo ese proceso de inducción a presión sale prácticamente limpia. Sin embargo, no es el caso de la esfera. La esfera presenta porosidad, que es polo norte, no el polo norte, sino más bien en la mitad de la esfera presenta porosidad y en la otra mitad presenta una menor porosidad. Esto nada más te lo comento desde el punto de vista apariencia y esa apariencia obviamente se relaciona con estos procesos que estoy mencionando. Por ejemplo, el proceso que deja este tipo de porosidad es el proceso de fundición en arena húmeda. que no se hace por presión, no todos los gases se expulsan del material y queda esa porosidad que les comento. Pero eso nada más es un aspecto visual. Ahora, el punto importante es realizar una metalografía en la superficie del aluminio. La realizó la UNAM y en base a esa metalografía se determinó científicamente que efectivamente la esfera se había fabricado por un proceso de fundición en arena húmeda en etapas.
Okay. So what he's saying is that his mainly like, well, firstly, his theory is sustained because it was already there was a test doing by the metallurgy team in the National University of Mexico, and they agreed that it was created through a wet sand process. So what is the sand, the wet sand process? So as Nikki was saying, that we mentioned in the other video, it's like you get two molds, you put them together, yet that what it's going to create that the two layers come together is the pressure that the very same sand is generating. So of course you have the liquid metal, you have the molds, and then through the pressure that is impressed through imprinted through the wet sand, then that the welding in the equatorial line is going to be done. The thing is that, again, even another way to prove that it was through wet sand, which is different from other techniques that also use molds, because it could have been any other technique that uses molds, is that the porosity of the sphere, because it has a lot of porosity. So this means that the gases were taken through that very same process and then leading to, hold on, hermanito, dices que entonces los gases se quitaron, ¿cierto?
Mira, cuando se usa un proceso de inducción a presión, esa misma presión con la que se inyecta el aluminio en el molde hace que todos los gases salgan.
Exactamente. Okay.
Y te queda la superficie libre de poros.
Okay, perfecto. So as I was saying, the pressure that is generated by all the sand, what happens is that the pressure that is in between all the components, among all the components of the sphere, is that those gases, are expelled. So then that generates precisely all that porosity.
I have a question, if that's okay, or if he's going to say something. He can go ahead. Let him respond.
¿Ibas a decir algo, hermanito, o te pueden hacer otra pregunta?
Sí, iba yo a comentar que en el caso del proceso de fundición en arena, podemos tener inclusiones en la superficie de la propia arena. Esto lo que nos dice que también se detectaron ese tipo de inclusiones en el estudio que hizo la UNAM en el análisis metalográfico. Entonces aquí tenemos la prueba científica, que es este análisis metalográfico que se realiza, en donde determinan que incluso digamos que ambos hemisferios de la esfera no fueron fundidos ni hechos en el mismo tiempo. Hubo una diferencia de tiempo entre una y otra porque tuvieron diferente velocidad de enfriamiento. Aunado a esto, la prueba digamos, científica que nos dice eso es un análisis por XRF, por espectrometría de rayos X. Con esto nosotros determinamos que se presenta en la esfera, en lo que son las carcasas de la esfera, un fenómeno que se llama segregación. Este fenómeno se da cuando el enfriamiento es muy lento y entonces, en lugar de ser homogénea la composición química, tenemos concentraciones, por ejemplo, de níquel en determinadas zonas y en otras zonas no tenemos níquel. Entonces, tanto la prueba física que realizó la UNAM como el análisis de XRF que nosotros realizamos demuestran que se fundieron ambas carcasas en diferente tiempo y fueron por ese proceso.
Okay, so what he says, gracias, hermanito. What he says is that he can tell, like, due to the way that he knows how metal is it's manipulated, and along with the tests that this university, like the National University of Mexico, applied to it, they got to not only the conclusion yet the results that both molds, like the upper and the lower one, were made at different time. Why? Because they had different cooling time, different cooling, not the procedure itself, yet the time that it took to cool down, it was different. So in one of them, there was even like this behavior of segregation with a very specific machine that is the spectrometer, that you can measure the light. Then they could see that that's one of the sides, or let's say one of the hemispheres had taken longer in in its cooling process. And also another way how they knew that the wet sand was the method used to create it is because there were also the presence of other type of shapes besides the interaction that the sand itself would be generating along with the mold. There were different, there was a different, it was again not only the porosity, yet was the presence of other particles like the sand itself has. When you bring just a bunch of sand, it will have other type of things. So that's another thing. And just that guys, because I saw that someone said that wet sand process sounds really interesting. Yes, it is. And I know some fire goddess why you felt interested by it, because it's an Egyptian one. They used it in ancient Egypt. So, okay. So, Tyler, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So, and these might be things that you guys already know, but I'm just curious. I haven't been following it. So obviously this thing was flying once, and now they're studying it and they're running all these tests. I'm just wondering if, for one, and this might be a silly question, but has anybody used like AI to try and translate the symbol and what's on it? I'm sure you have. But two, have you tried to reactivate it? Because a lot of these artifacts, through lore, are like voice activated or frequency activated. So I'm wondering if different frequencies have just been tested around it to see if there's a response.
I got this translation if you want it read off in a bit. Go ahead.
Yes, we're working on that, actually, on the translation of other codes that are present, not the ones that have already publicly been shared with the audience. And the one which is the one that Sean is talking about. There are other codes that we are exploring using AI, using other type of technologies. I am creating one which is the Spectral Cymatic Transceiver, which is the purpose is to translate those codes into sound, because they are very clear. So once you tune into the core essence let's say, like the Morse code or even the Braille code of each letter, then you can translate that into geometry, then into cymatic, into frequency. So that's one. We had also donations coming that, like, it's a frequency generator, and David brought some Chladni plates so that we also are tuning into the frequency that the sphere itself is emitting.
Cymatics.
Yeah. So through cymatics, that's why the Chladni plates, also Petri dishes. And yeah, we have been working deeply on that, because that's one of my core messages that the sphere wants to communicate with us. It's showing it in different ways. I don't want to, I want David to be the one sharing the information. Yet, from my experience that I have been present in the most recent experiments and being part of them, I can tell you that the sphere is transmitting messages in situ as we speak, is showing different patterns of behavior, even in the tomography, in the tomography plates. So, David, hermanito, me pregunta que qué tan profundo hemos ido en lo de la decodificación a través del sonido y de las frecuencias. Ahorita todavía no hablan de los códigos en sí, sino de la frecuencia y de los sonidos que le estimulan y demás.
Bueno, mira, es importante mencionar que también realizamos estudios de emisión de frecuencias hacia la esfera. Estos estudios se hicieron en otra casa de estudios importante también aquí en México, que es el Instituto Politécnico Nacional. Estuvimos realizando esas emisiones de esfera y tuvimos resultados importantes. La esfera responde con una emisión también de frecuencia y responde a frecuencias como es la frecuencia del habla del ser humano. También responde a instrucciones de manejo, es decir, alguien que la está manejando externamente responde a ese tipo de frecuencias. Y bueno, en base a estos estudios que se realizaron, nosotros nos damos cuenta que es una parte muy importante en emitirle frecuencias para que de alguna manera pueda esta esfera captar esa energía, ese impulso que requiere inicialmente, quizás para poderla hacer levitar en un futuro.
Okay, gracias, hermanito. Okay, so he's saying that previous to this, one of the first research that was done to the Buga, well, it was taken to another national institute, the Polytechnic National Institute, in Mexico, and they brought a beautiful singer of chanting mantras to the sphere. So they were testing the response that the Buga Sphere has to the mantras, and it was really responsive. It was really responding to the frequencies. This is why they started relating it to a lot of the Vedic ancient culture, and that a lot. Moreover, the Dr. Agnese later on as well did the translation that is very much related to the Proto-Sanskrit. But I won't talk about this in a bit. Just I will let also David bring the news on that. This was former research. And so they what has been very consistent, as I was telling you, Tyler, that the sphere has been showing clear feedback. You know, it's non-random. It's very much related. Like, for instance, in this image, I'm sinking to the sphere, and you can see how it is showing a thermal response to my touch in different parts of the sphere. And the sphere is so cold that my hands are not hot enough. Actually, I always have very cold hands, you know, so my hands are not generating enough temperature to actually, you know, bring that heat to the sphere. You can see that my temperature in the number red is 35, and the temperature of the Buga sphere is going from 17 to 20 degrees. So it's going up and down as my chant goes on. And even at some point, one of the frequencies that they played, it was moving, like dancing with the frequencies that I created for it, especially. Not these ones, not the ones that I'm singing in this video, other ones.
You just measure that in thermal photography? Like, is there any other, like in the actual gauge, is that how we're measuring that it's reacting to people's frequencies, or is there any other kind of activity that it's having?
Well, with this, we are reading that it's having all type of activity in the inside, you know, like even like a heartbeat. In the other video that Sean was showing before, where we are in the other lab, it is showing a variation in the patterns of what it at its core, and even a heart, you know, like a heartbeat when it started spinning. That's a machine that David invented, you know, that he designed it and he invented, because just to finish with what David was saying, that he also believes that a key part to make it, to activate it again, is through frequency, for sure. We are all on that page. Yes.
I think this is really interesting, the frequency thing. So I love how you're measuring how it's responding to you and your frequency. Have you guys done any testing? I know there was mention about people who were around it were having dreams. Has any of that been documented as far as like dreams, heart rate, brain activity? Have you looked at humans and done any measures in how their bodies are responding and reacting in the presence of it?
That's a beautiful question. Let me, David, answer it for you.
Can I piggyback on that question too? Because my question was basically the same thing, but also touching it with what he was saying in the beginning about the man who found it and fingerprints and the physical symptoms. Like, have there been physical symptoms as intense as that first one? And if not, why does he think there hasn't been? And then also, like what Amanda's saying too, has there been other measurable or anecdotal experiences like that?
Yeah, sure. I will ask him. And just that you know, guys, because, well, there is a constant measurement in the radiation that the sphere emit to verify that there is no radiation that could cause harm or injuries to anyone. So, and the guy that found it is now alive and happy and received many upgrades. Now he can write a book about that. So, hermanito, me dicen que si, es una pregunta muy interesante, que si, así como se ha medido a la esfera con la interacción de las personas, que si se ha medido el resultado que la persona muestra ante la interacción con la esfera.
Sí hemos tenido la experiencia de que en un momento dado la presencia de una persona bloquea hasta cierto sentido la comunicación con nosotros. Sí ha pasado y nos hemos dado cuenta.
No tengo idea de qué hablas. Okay, that was a local joke, guys. But he's saying, I will go deeper into your question, Amanda, because he just said that there has been like in a specific way that someone's energy is blocking or limiting or influencing drastically the interaction that the sphere has with us. Like, for instance, if it perceives an anger field, you will put frequencies to it and it will start showing to you peaks, you know? And if you're in a place of full bliss, it will, you know, start dancing. And yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. Whether if it's local or non-local.
What do you mean by dancing? What do you mean by dancing?
Like, for instance, when they played my frequencies, instead of doing waves like this, the waves were doing this. I had never seen waves like that, not in my experience, you know, but they were going like this, like, and in the very same rhythm of my chant. So, pero hermanito, lo que me preguntan es, por ejemplo, si teniendo la esfera enfrente y se le han puesto los electrodos a una persona mientras medita con ella para ver lo que sucede.
No, eso no lo hemos hecho, solamente nos hemos dado cuenta, por ejemplo, cuando estamos midiendo la emisión de frecuencia de la esfera, está respondiendo, en este caso, a un mantra específico, llega una persona que no está acorde a esa frecuencia y la esfera deja de responder. Y esto lo probamos varias veces, no fue nada más una vez, sino que se ha repetido el fenómeno, por así decirlo. Pero no hemos conectado a nadie con electrodos hacia la esfera.
Y se encontró que después de haber...
Okay, so he says that there haven't been tests like that, like the one that you were asking about, Amanda. That's a very good one. We will definitely do that. Yeah. And then, like, the fact that it really, like, its interaction, its feedback is very proportional to the surrounding. If it feels comfortable, it will respond and give feedback. It doesn't feel comfortable, if there is a low frequency or a distortion in the field, it won't communicate. And there haven't been any other cases, JC, that would be, you know, of health, like a red flag in health.
So why does he think it did that to him? Was it a vibrational mismatch thing, or was it more of a discharge? And I know we've talked about this a little more behind the scenes, but for the viewers and to hear it from David, what is his opinion on that?
Oye, hermanito, me pregunta que si por el tema de lo que le pasó a este José, que si tú a qué se lo atribuyes, que le haya pasado lo de las náuseas y lo de las huellas digitales.
Estos síntomas son característicos cuando el cuerpo humano está expuesto a emisiones de radioactividad o de energía electromagnética. Inclusive, mira, estamos viendo ahí en el video el lugar en donde colocó José la esfera en lo que guardaba sus instrumentos, en los que andaba buscando tesoros, y vemos que todo el pasto ahí quedó quemado. Esto nos indica que la esfera en ese momento todavía estaba emitiendo energía electromagnética o posiblemente energía nuclear. Ahora bien, esto también lo podemos comprobar con esa pérdida de peso, con esa ganancia de peso que fue teniendo a través del tiempo. Primero, don José le estimó que pesaba unos 2 kilos. Después, cuando se le entregan a David Vélez, checa el peso y este da 6.8 kilos. Y posteriormente, cuando llega a nuestras manos ya pesa 10.130 kilogramos, es decir, que fue perdiendo esa energía que la hacía levitar y al ya contar con esa energía, pues vamos registrando ese efecto en la ganancia de peso.
Okay, so what he's saying is that what he thinks is that due to those symptoms are consistent to radioactivity, being present in radioactivity, or due to the high energy density in the electromagnetic field of the sphere itself. When he captured the sphere, it weighed 3 kilos. After, when Jaime received it, it was weighing 6 kilos. And then when it arrived to Mexico, 9. And then when David joined the research group for the first time, it was already, its weight was 10.130 kilo. So that energy that was at some moment creating, it's not anymore. It's active, but not that active in order to be creating, like radioactivity or something or else, and it's like the same with the spaceships, YssaH, like there are spaceships that have been found here in Mexico that are, like a little bit like really veiled by the very same people that live there. And they say that they have a radioactivity field, like they cannot touch them because people gets really sick when they touch them.
So are you guys seeing any other signs of diminishing of energy other than what you just listed in terms of the weight and those kind of energetic effects? Are there other signs of it lowering in energy, or does it seem to kind of have stabilized at the current energy and consciousness, if you will, that it's emitting right now?
Well, they have done very interesting tests. I will ask David so that he tells you guys. And but they are very much involved to read and to influence the energy that the sphere is emitting. Hermanito, me dice que cómo saben que además de por el peso, otra forma en la que la esfera ya haya variado su campo electromagnético.
Cuando nosotros empezamos a estudiar la esfera geométrica, lo primero, por protocolo, lo primero que hago es asegurarme de que no tengamos emisiones de energía nuclear ni de energía electromagnética. Entonces, hicimos con el equipo necesario, nos dimos cuenta que ya no emitía energía electromagnética. Tampoco emitía, la energía nuclear que emite es una energía nuclear normal que emite la mayoría de los objetos aquí en la Tierra. Entonces, no es una energía nuclear alta que ponga en peligro la salud del ser humano.
Okay, so like what I was telling you guys, that they measure every time that there is going to be an experiment performed, they do the measurement on the radioactivity field that the sphere is emitting. And right now there is, but it's as normal as any other electronic device. Perhaps even the cell phone has more radioactivity. I don't know. He didn't say that,
but like the same as a electrically or battery charged electronic device, not necessarily like an inert, like a phone that would be powered on versus a phone powered off, right? Like it's still giving off an energy, like it's having a power source, is what you're saying?
Almost like a circuit board, the way I see it.
Yeah, no, and I was just talking about the terms of the radioactivity that it is emitting. It's very low, like any other electronic device. That's what it's emitting. But yeah, so do you want to go to ask another question?
The variable weight is really interesting because like 3 kilograms to 10.13 is a huge difference. So what, like, and also when I see the video of it flying in Buga, that looks like bigger to me than the basketball thing that you guys have in the lab. So it's weird to me that it's actually weighing more now when it looked to me like it was bigger. Like, you know, and then also they have it, like you guys have it on that device where it's spinning. Are you weighing it? Is it losing weight during like some sort of centrifugal force physics thing? Or is it just like, what are the conditions that its weight is being this variable?
Well, the thing is that it starts creating energy. So then it reached all the way until 2,100 volts. So it was creating its own energy. So then it started losing weight. It lost 2.6 kilo in 20 minutes. And that was David's purpose, to see what happens when it starts spinning, you know. So it showed that it is active, you know, it's generating its own field, you know. And the device was created like with the very specific purpose that as soon as it starts losing weight, it will stop, you know, like the spin, the machine itself would stop to create to start again, you know, like another measurement um, of its behavior. Hermanito me dice que se le hace muy interesante lo del peso, que que bueno, o sea, ¿a ti cómo te vino la idea de crear esta máquina y cómo el hecho de estar girando la puede hacer perder peso? Ya le mencioné un poco de lo de crear su propia energía, pero bueno, ahí vas tú.
Qué interesante pregunta, Miki. Es una pregunta muy importante, sobre todo porque, mira, al tener pues prácticamente todos esos estudios que hemos realizado a la esfera, incluso una tomografía preliminar que realizamos, en ella se pudo observar adentro del interior de la esfera que tenemos 3 diferentes materiales. ¿Por qué asumimos que son 3 diferentes materiales? Porque hay 3 diferentes velocidades, una mayor, otra menor y otra intermedia. De tal manera que conociendo la parte fundamental de cómo se genera la energía, conociendo también los límites que tenemos por esa fibra óptica, límites en cuanto a temperatura, esa fibra óptica que se encuentra en el ecuador de la esfera, en los puntos negros, que la resina que contiene la fibra se descompone y se degrada a los 72.6 grados centígrados. Esa es la razón por la cual la esfera también no tiene soldadura. Entonces,
¿No tiene que, perdón?
Soldadura.
Ok.
En ambas carcasas. Entonces, nosotros lo que conocemos actualmente son, digamos, aleaciones de metales en frío y que se preparan a base de polvos con su reactivo y después reacciona ese material y forma unas estructuras. Entonces, yo teoricé que esas estructuras estaban formadas de aluminio con titanio. Esta formación de esos metamateriales en el interior no generan más allá de 50 grados centígrados. esto es congruente con la no presencia de soldadura en el Ecuador. Y bueno, pues esto me dio a pensar que estos metamateriales en su interior, al momento de que tienen contracción y expansión, están generando una diferencia de potencial y eso nos genera energía. Esa diferencia de potencial es una corriente eléctrica, nos genera energía. Entonces, pensando en esta teoría y en las pruebas basadas en las pruebas físicas que se hicieron tanto de resonancia, de metalografía, de composición química del aluminio, llegamos a pensar que girando la esfera podemos de alguna forma estimularla energéticamente para que ese movimiento en su interior se empezara a dar. También, no nada más es la única forma, también a través de una emisión de frecuencias, como ya nos hicimos independientes, realizarlo en conjunto para tratar de que la esfera tenga todos los medios de energía, inclusive también hacerle llegar pulsos electromagnéticos.
Esto es de lo que habla David, tu tocayo David.
Sí, entonces ponerle pulsos electromagnéticos para también estimularla. Hicimos incidir también luz ultravioleta en la zona donde tiene el chip y donde aparecen la fibra óptica. Y esto todo es con la intención de estimularla energéticamente para poder hacer que ella empiece a generar su propia energía. Y entonces comenzamos por este equipo que fue diseñado en base a todo este conocimiento que teníamos de las pruebas que le realizamos.
Okay, so he's saying that like the way that he came up with the design of this machine was throughout all the tests that have been done to the Buga Sphere. Like, for instance, one of the things that he has felt from after, you know, like this, some of the researches that done is that like the tomography themselves, like the tomography that the different, well, there have been like 2 tomographies that have been taken of the Buga Sphere. So in the first one, which was the famous one, the one that has like the shape of the what was related to the Tesla Tower, we could see that it has 3 different densities due to the different color that the image is showing. And here we have it. And through those 3 different densities, then he was tuning into, you know, like how can that interact? Because also another thing that due to another test that has been done to the Buga Sphere is that they have seen that in the fiber optic, the resin that serves as a type of even a glue cannot be higher in temperature than 7.7. No, hermanito, ¿cuántos grados dijiste que no puede estar a más de cuántos grados el pegamento? No te escucho.
A más de 72.6 grados.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it was again. So no more than 72.8 Celsius. So like as soon as it goes, like the temperature of the space could go higher, then the sphere starts to create a counter acting behavior that starts to cool itself, you know. So then that, along with what materials could have been used in the interior that can respond actually to that spin, he was tuning into the type of metamaterials, like for instance, when you put aluminum and titanium together, that they have very low temperature that is very much connected to the fact that the sphere itself needs to be preserved in low temperature. You know, like it has its own mechanism of preserving itself in low temperature. It doesn't show that behavior anymore, I must say. That was at the very beginning, where also where still its energy, its electromagnetic field was more active. Right now, if you pour water on it, you won't have the same response. And then he was saying that, for instance, you know, like that combination of those two metals could very much be preserving the coolness in the temperature in the sphere. So when you get all that all like very specific components together, and then you make them spin, as in the case of this machine with the Buga Sphere, then you will start generating energy. You know, it's the way that they interact with one another. Hermanito, ¿me podrías volver a decir, por favor, la parte de la producción de energía? ¿Cómo sentiste que estaría produciendo energía a través del spin?
Sí, teorizando en esos tres diferentes materiales, metamateriales que hay en el interior, sabemos que si tenemos una contracción y una expansión en esos tres materiales, nos va a generar una diferencia de potencial. Y esa diferencia de potencial es energía. Y uno de estos materiales funciona como generador de energía, otro funciona como regulador de energía y el tercero como un acumulador. Entonces, sabemos que la esfera es un objeto hasta cierto punto independiente, porque no vemos la manera de que pueda levitar, pueda perder peso sin generar energía. Forzosamente requiere energía para poder volar o para poder levitar.
Como el ser humano.
Sí.
Yeah, I was saying, because I remember someone once asked me, it's related to what David was saying now. Why did I think that the Buga Sphere had lost weight, gained weight? And I was saying, it's like a human; it needs to generate energy in order to be at its, perfect shape. And now David was just saying that, like something needs to generate energy, like to be losing weight. Of course, it's more complex than that, but speaking of reverse engineering, everything like a reflection of our biology. But anyway, so what he was saying is that those three densities that are shown in that tomography scan is that each one, like what David and I couldn't agree more, is that one of those densities is the generator of energy. The other one is the one that is containing the energy, and the other one is regulating the energy. So in between them, they are interacting with one another, and therefore creating two different forces that, once they are stimulated, they create a different the difference of potential, or the potential difference that creates energy.
I have a question before I have to leave really quick. And sorry if I interrupted somebody. You know how you hook up electrodes to a plant, to a speaker, and it sings? Have you tried to see if this speaks to you in that way?
We got one, and we're gonna do it. I brought one with it.
Oh, so you are trying that? Okay.
Yeah, we haven't tried it yet. We haven't tried it yet. We were adjusting the Chladni plates because they were too thick, So if the emission is not strong enough, if the plates are too thick, then it won't be generating any cymatics. So, well, that for the frequency generator. And for the electrodes that you said, yes, we plugged it. Well, actually, I didn't, but Tom Ebeling, who was also present in the recent tests, put the electrodes in a very specific way with an amplifier, it's a speaker, and then it was a lot of putting to the Buga Sphere frequencies and see, like how it would be, the frequencies that it would be generating. But
we'll upload the song when we get it recorded for you.
I was gonna say Buga Sphere is gonna have the biggest smash hit of 2026.
Yeah, with that plant song.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm sorry. So looking at the age of it, I was researching, checking past precessional cycles, and like the esoteric traditions talk about different densities that happen during parts of the precessional cycles. And I think that this must be a transdimensional, capable of changing density device to adjust to it. And I don't think it's anything that our current physics explains, but the changing weight intuitively to me says it's recalibrating and adjusting, maybe resetting, and that's why maybe it's stabilized, because maybe it was found like just as it arrived in this density, and it's adjusting itself, and it has an awareness. It might even just be a high level of machine learning, but it's definitely responding and adjusting. So to me, like, we're talking about how there are other things out there that we just can't see, and it makes sense to me that this weight changing means that it's built into it to be able to cohere to this density.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Frank. Thank you for saying that, because of course, if the frequency is lower here and slower, then it's adapting, because it has also shown properties of cloaking itself, which is a form of adaptation to different frequencies coming at it. So let me tell David. Me dice, estaba diciendo Frank, bueno, y también algo que preguntó Tyler, es que si habíamos usado los electrodos para medir la frecuencia de las plantas, y le dije que es de los aparatos que llevé para medir y que ya estuvimos como experimentando con esos. Y luego dice Frank que él siente que también lo del peso podría ser una forma de adaptación de la esfera ante el ambiente que hay aquí. Como es más, digamos, el momento angular de cada partícula es más lento en esta densidad de la Tierra, debido al campo gravitacional y demás, entonces que es una forma de adaptación, podría ser una forma de adaptación que la esfera está teniendo al ambiente.
Bueno, aquí es importante comentar de acuerdo a todos los análisis que hemos realizado en la esfera, apuntan a que el 99.99% de probabilidad es de que esta esfera se haya fabricado, digamos, en un ambiente en donde hay gravedad. Y un ambiente donde hay gravedad en la Tierra, pero también puede haber gravedad en otro planeta. No lo digo. Se ha comprobado incluso en algunos otros planetas en donde la gravedad es menor que aquí en la Tierra, y esto pues se ha realizado de forma científica de investigación, así lo vemos. Sin embargo, mira, es importante mencionar que todos los materiales que están en la esfera se encuentran aquí en la Tierra, pero también en el universo. Son los mismos, no hay algún material desconocido. Por otra parte, ya se comprobó científicamente Esta esfera fue fabricada por el proceso de fundición en arena única en etapas. Y es un proceso que requiere, gravedad. Si no, no pudiéramos realizar el vaciado del aluminio. La densidad de lo que hay en el interior de la esfera son metamateriales porosos, y esto lo comprobamos también al digitalizar la esfera, sacar el volumen y de ahí poder calcular la densidad. La densidad de esta esfera, si nosotros tuviéramos puro aluminio, su peso sería de 32 kilos. Y la esfera, como está ahorita, pesa 10.13 kilos. Esto quiere decir que efectivamente en el interior de la esfera tenemos esos metamateriales. Y bueno, pues mira, todo pudiera ser, porque ahorita lo que está ahí adentro, pues estamos teorizando. Y es muy posible que también lo que comenta Frank, pues pueda ser posible. No podemos descartar ninguna teoría hasta este momento. Sin embargo, yo sí lo que creo es de que la guía no es de que crea, sino de que todos los estudios que hemos realizado demuestran que ahí adentro no hay ninguna torre de Tesla, como veíamos ahorita ahí en
Okay. Sí, bueno, lo que decía del tema de la gravedad era por los diferentes tipos de gravedades, pero sí, o sea, sí, okay. Okay, so what he's saying is that according to that technique that he has, well, not like he yet, the equations, the tests, and so forth have proved that the sphere was created and manufactured in Earth, or at least in a place that would have had a similar gravitational field as the Earth, because in order to liquidify the aluminum, it requires gravity, like the one on Earth. So, and also, like fusioning it with the other materials, with the other metals. Because, for instance, if the sphere itself was made only of aluminum, it would weigh only itself 32 kilo. But due to the fact that it's composited with other metals, then and it's also like a very thin layer. If we see the tomography that with the first tomography, I won't say the Tesla Tower anymore. It's just, because some people was assuming that it had a Tesla Tower inside, but no, there is. Even we have been speaking, and David agrees very much on this, that we could be talking about gases inside of the sphere, along with, others, because we have three densities again. So there are three different type of metamaterials. Perhaps one of them could be a type of plasma, and another one, other types of materials. So yeah, he was saying that. You were asking about the cloaking. David did a 3D scan, a very good quality one, and the scanner reads everything except for the area with the code, with the chip code. When he reaches that region, it overlaps the image. It's like if it was duplicating the image, and then the sensors that you put around the 3D scan, they don't match, and they need to match. So what David was saying is that happens, that could be, this could be one of the reasons, that as soon as the Buga Sphere, which, let's say, perhaps the main interface of the whole circuitry is in that region, starts to perceive a very specific frequency, then it starts to generate that very same frequency to cancel it out, you know? And then it's resulting into a cloaking system. Les estaba contando de lo del scan de 3D, hermanito, y de cómo se cancela, de cómo cancela la... Dime, dime, hermanito.
Genera el efecto de invisibilidad para el equipo.
Exacto, sí. Es lo que les estaba comentando, porque están muy interesados también en eso. ¿Hay algo más que quieras decir con respecto a eso? Ya les expliqué lo del escáner, que como tomando la zona superior estaba, no empalmaba bien la imagen, los puntos estaban difusos justo en el área superior.
Sí,
Entonces,
todos los grabados no salen en el escáner y si llegan a salir de una manera tenue, se traslapan, es decir, hay una frecuencia que está emitiendo la esfera que interfiere con la frecuencia del equipo y esto hace que pierda su posición, porque para esto ocupamos unos targets que son unas referencias físicas precisamente para que el escáner no se pierda y identifique cada espacio de la esfera. Sin embargo, estamos 100% seguros que la emisión de esa frecuencia de la esfera es igual a la del equipo y provoca el efecto de invisibilidad.
Okay, so yeah, he was saying, you know, like what I explained to you guys, like how the frequencies that are being emitted by the scanner, it's actually being emitted by the Buga Sphere itself, you know, as a counter response to clock itself. There was something that someone was saying. Oh, yeah, no, it's me. Oye, hermanito, oye, hermanito, una pregunta. ¿Las huellas del Señor todavía están quemadas? O sea, bueno, ¿todavía están desaparecidas o ya le volvieron o cómo fue?
No, la recuperó por ahí en los 3 días. Él se dio cuenta porque quería marcar por teléfono y pensó que su teléfono se le había descompuesto.
Okay.
Entonces agarró otro teléfono y fue lo mismo. Y después se dio a las manos y vio que no tenía las huellas digitales y las recuperó como al tercer día.
Ok, pero no sintió él algo como que se le hubiera quemado.
No, él no sintió quemadura ni nada, sino simplemente él quería marcar por teléfono y obviamente su huella para abrir el teléfono pues no la tenía.
Okay, so I was just asking this on behalf of JC because I think you asked that last time when we were, you know, like when we had our gathering about the fingerprints, right? And the thing is that because I have seen right now even the video, you know, like it burned his fingerprints. No, like they just went missing for 3 days, and then they came. He got them back. So perhaps it was of, you know, like due to the electromagnetic field, like the high electromagnetic field, you know, the sphere was reacting in a very specific form regarding to cold. So I don't know, you know, it's like, but they weren't bored. It didn't hurt. Like he was not like, oh, my fingerprints, you know, like he found out because days after finding the Buga Sphere, he was trying to use his cell phone to write something, and not even days after, because that makes no sense. You
His
know?
fingerprint wasn't working on the cell phone, like to
Yeah.
open up his phone. Yeah,
But I
interesting.
think that was immediately, because it would even be weirder if it was 3 days after, you know, because I'm quite sure that he was using his cell phone even after, you know.
Well, that's even stranger that
Yeah.
it wouldn't work at first and then they came back and it was all normal again.
What about the magnet thickness? Like, because apparently that's been variable. But what does that even mean? Like, I mean, because aluminum is a non-ferrous metal, so are there magnets inside of this? Like, how is that working?
And I'm sorry, I'm just going to jump before, because it even doesn't even have to do with the fingerprints forcefully, because it's not about the fingerprint itself. It's about the energetic field that the screen is feeling.
The heat in your hands, isn't
That-
that what makes your smartphone sense that you push it, right?
Exactly.
So are you referring to just the capacitive touch versus like the fingerprint ID is what I thought you were talking about? Like,
Yeah,
no. Okay, so
it
just
wasn't.
the
Yeah.
wow, that's even weirder if it didn't
That's
have
even weirder.
capacitive.
Yeah.
You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
We can hear
We
you.
can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you.
Oh, that's weird that Nikki can't hear me. But anyways, it seems like there might be some audio issues. Frank was saying his audio wasn't working right either.
Oh, he's there. I was saying, where did he go?
Yeah,
Back.
my audio.
Yeah, I had to go out and come back, and it came back on.
There
Mine
we
did
go.
something earlier too. Yeah, and I just switch it back.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. You were talking about, you mentioned that the fusing was similar to something like from Egypt, and I was wondering if you were referring to King Tut's mask, because I've been down a rabbit hole on how that when they did scans on it, the way it was fused, and it's something that is not explainable by the mainstream narrative of archaeology. Is that what you were talking about? Is that these metals, these two halves, were put together similar to that technology?
Oh, well, let me get back to you. David, me pregunta Frank que si el método egipcio, que, o sea, de arena
Okay, I'm not
húmeda,
hearing anybody again.
bueno, de la arena húmeda tiene que ver con, por ejemplo, cómo se pudo haber fabricado la máscara del rey Tutankamón, o Tutankamón, más conocido.
Mira, a esa máscara le han hecho pruebas y han determinado fotografías que realizaron, placas de rayos X, que está hecha en 2 partes. ¿Sí? Entonces, y es muy posible porque precisamente lo que nosotros teníamos en registro como humanidad era de que este proceso de fundición en arena lo usaron los egipcios. Estamos hablando de hace 5.000 años. Entonces, sí pudo haber, mira, yo he visto la máscara, pero obviamente no la he visto a detalle como para poder afirmar de visto a distancia, y no alcanzo a ver yo porosidad ahí en la máscara.
Exacto, es lo que te iba a decir, la porosidad.
Entonces yo te podría decir que esta máscara se pudo haber fabricado con otro tipo de proceso. Ahí yo mira, hay varios procesos y cada uno de ellos yo te diría los extremos. Uno es la fundición en arena húmeda, que es el que te deja una mayor porosidad, te deja cavernas incluso en ciertas zonas. Y el más, digamos, el más perfecto es la inyección a presión en moldes de acero. Pero entre esos dos hay una variedad de procesos que también algunos son fabricados con arena, con resinas, pero te forman cáscaras. Hay otros métodos, por ejemplo, la fundición a la cera perdida, Yo creo que esa máscara muy posiblemente fue hecha con una inyección a la cera térmica. Porque te da
Con una inyección, que perdón, con una inyección, ¿qué?
discúlpame, no te escuché.
Yo tampoco. ¿Con una inyección, qué?
Con inyección a presión en moldes de acero. ¿Sí?
Okay.
Digamos que esa es la condición perfecta que podemos tener aquí en la Tierra. Ahora, entre esos dos procesos, el de fundición en arena y el de inyección a presión, hay otros procesos de fundición. Uno se le llama proceso de fundición por cáscaras de arena que son fabricadas con algún aglutinante y son sólidos. Otro proceso es el vaciado, nada más por gravedad en molde de acero. Pero también tenemos otro proceso que fue muy posiblemente el que utilizaron para fundirla y para trabajar la máscara de Tutankamón, y debió haber sido un proceso de fundición a la cera perdida. Y también pudo haber sido ese proceso.
¿Fundición a qué?
Pero aquí lo interesante
No, pero...
a la cera de
Sí.
como si fuera cera de Campeche, a la cera perdida.
A la cera perdida.
Ajá, así es.
Okay.
Pero aquí lo interesante es la unión de estas dos partes de la máscara de Tutankamón. También es un digamos, un misterio.
Gracias, hermanito. Frank is saying that that's a very interesting question. And the thing is that due to, like, he has seen physically the mask, perhaps not too closely, yet from that distance, he wouldn't perceive any type of porosity. It was like perfectly, polished. So perhaps he would attribute it to another process. That one option would involve the steel molds, molds made of steel. That this is also used nowadays, and it's the most perfect form of, welding without seeing the mark, and another one would be of that one is in the name is pression injection. Injection de presión, pression injection. And then he has another one, and that's a really weird name, even in Spanish, which is a la cera perdida, which is somehow of like a lost metal, but even a la cera is like, a la cera viene de el acero, sería, ¿no?
No, de la cera, de la parafina.
Oh, de parafina, like wax, like lost wax, which is also like kind of interesting name, but like, y de ahí los moldes serían de cera.
Son de arena sílica.
Okay.
Primero se rellenan de cera y después se vacía digamos, el metal sobre la cera y la cera pierde su volumen y va siendo rellenada por el metal.
Okay, so that one involves also sand, and the sand starts losing its weight, and then then another whole process. But I mean, do you want to know the special details, guys? I can tell you, but I don't know if anyone wants to ask another question.
I'd like to know about the fiber optics and how they figure their fiber optics and,
Okay. So the fiber optics are in two of the black spots that are in the equator of the sphere. Not all the holes are fiber optic, just two of them. And those two holes are connecting the whole equator. It's not like they are just, like randomly embedded in the sphere. They are in all the circumference of the equator. And okay, so David, David, están preguntando de la fibra óptica.
Sí.
Me gustaría mucho saber acerca de la fibra óptica.
Bien. Aquí, cuando yo analicé esos puntos negros que se encontraban o que se encuentran en el Ecuador, me di cuenta que no correspondían a un metal. Entonces enfocamos las siguientes pruebas a determinar qué tipo de resina era la que había ahí. Yo estaba seguro que se trataba de una resina porque luego he hecho pruebas con el espectro XRF y no había tenido alguna respuesta. Entonces, todo indicaba que ahí había un peligro. Y entonces ya se le pidió en forma específica a la UNAM que le hiciera un estudio a este polímero y resultó que ese polímero encapsulaba lo que es el dióxido de silicio y es, digamos, propiamente la fibra óptica. Esta fibra óptica tiene una gran cantidad de aplicaciones actualmente en la industria. Sin embargo, en uno de estos puntos donde se detectó, se hizo un conteo de 52 diferentes tamaños de fibra óptica, pero estamos hablando de microfibra óptica, es decir, son fibras más delgadas que un cabello. Estamos hablando de medidas nanométricas.
Okay. Well, what he's saying is that this type of fiber optic is very much used nowadays. It's a very fine type of fiber optic. How they came to find it is that when David was doing like one of the tests, he could see that in the equator there was this type of particle that he because he was using a scanner and it won't detect that part. So then he was saying, okay, so the only reason why it wouldn't detect it's because there must be like an organic material. So then he said it must be a polymer, an organic polymer. So then they scrapped a little bit. They took a little sample from it. And then, as you know, part of it was taken to the Georgia laboratory here. Well, the university in Georgia, not here, like if I'm in the United States, in the United States. And carbon-14 was used to date it, and it was 12,560 years old. And
so when they say that was the resin they dated, it was in the fiber optic cable? Interesting.
Exactly. And another thing is that there are 52 different types of fiber optic there. So that's a lot of variety. And each one of them is like 1 hair thick. So It's again technology that is being used nowadays. Nevertheless, it's very high technology. And if we're talking about a sphere, a spectral sphere that is dating so far through the carbon-14 test, being 12,560 years old, well, we're talking about technology that was, at least here in this reality, invented not that long ago. So that's something very interesting regarding to the different data that we are finding in the sphere. For instance, we have like high level technology in the levitation process, the levitating behavior, and then again the surface of the sphere, the upper surface, has engravings that were done, like most likely handmade, due to the level of inaccuracy in the engraving. It's not laser made. It has imperfections. Les estaba diciendo, hermanito, de cómo es la diferencia. Dime.
Sí, mira, también es importante comentar que el hecho de que tenga fibra óptica y que en la parte superior de la esfera, es decir, en el hemisferio norte, tengamos lo que parece ser un chip electrónico, cobra mucho sentido. Cobra extremadamente sentido el hecho de encontrar la fibra ahí. Porque la fibra óptica es el medio por el cual pasan los fotones de luz, es la luz la que pasa.
Así es.
De tal manera que esa luz después pasa por un transceptor, que es el que la cambia de fotón a señal eléctrica. Y luego esa señal eléctrica debe ser transmitida hacia algún lugar. También nos dimos cuenta que la esfera está transmitiendo radiofrecuencias, en una radiofrecuencia muy específica. Entonces, sabemos con esto que la esfera es un artefacto que está sensando todo lo que se pueda imaginar con esa gran cantidad de, yo le llamaría, ojos que tiene la esfera. Y me refiero a los puntos en donde hay fibra óptica, porque a través de la fibra óptica pueden estar haciendo incluso análisis químico del suelo, de composición de todo lo que tenemos aquí en la Tierra, aparte de que sirve para monitorear condiciones atmosféricas, monitorear inclusive terremotos, temblores de tierra, movimientos telúricos, ¿verdad? Y bueno, tiene mucho sentido encontrar todos estos elementos, porque sabemos que del otro lado hay alguien que la controla, hay alguien que la maneja, y hay alguien que está recibiendo todas esas señales que está mandando la esfera. De tal forma que también teorizamos que hay una inteligencia artificial del otro lado que está convirtiendo todas esas señales eléctricas, pero ahora en fotones, y quizás nos están viendo en una pantalla en video, o nos están viendo en fotografía, o nos están analizando cómo está el ser humano. Te aseguro que nos tienen analizados por completo, como también la atmósfera, todo lo que tenemos aquí en el planeta Tierra.
Okay, just that you know, guys, that's a Van der Graaf test. Before translating what David is saying, that what you see in the video is the Van der Graaf tower, and that is using mainly electrostatic field, showing how the sphere at this moment was being related to, like, the Rodolfo Garrido, who's there, was saying that it was levitating through a very specific, like, through an explanation based on an electrostatic field. Nevertheless, if we take into consideration what also David was saying, when we have fiber optic, then we're talking about electromagnetic field forcefully. Why? Because the fiber optic as eyes is receiving photons and emitting photons. And then once they receive photons, it's very much consistent that it has like a quantum circuitry, perhaps quantum computing circuitry, that brings in the photons, translate them into electric signals, and then start reading the field, communicating with the field with an external force, which would be a non-localized force from what we see, from what we are connecting and interacting directly with. So as the very same way as the photons are received and transduced into electric signals, then the electric signals are transduced into photons, and then and then bringing in, let's say, like a holographic projection, perhaps, into that space from where they are looking at us. Like that source that created the sphere, it would have been, like interacting in that way, through the emissions that the photonic emission that the very same fiber optic is projecting all the way through that nexus. So this is something that I also want to say. Like, for instance, people was claiming that this is reverse engineered. Yeah, there are many spheres that are reverse engineered from ET technology. Like, I think almost every government has, or like specific like groups. The thing is that the way, like, they would have been, it would just have been captured and deactivated. That's it. Okay, have fun, entertain yourselves with this, researching it. But the fact that it's still active, that it's giving continuous signaling, different, very elevated and eloquent messages that are in perfect synchronization to what's happening around the field. So it's not just a data that was programmed and it's automatically giving a specific algorithms of behavior. No, it's constantly responding to what is specifically around the field. And the fact that people is having visions with it, receiving messages. I myself have had super powerful meditations with other things that at some point after the next researches we will be officially disclosing. But yeah, les estaba diciendo, hermanito, que también algo muy importante es que aunque esta esfera, o sea, como dice, ¿no? Que mucha gente dice que es ingeniería inversa, o sea, que estas ya existen. Lo que les estaba diciendo es que normalmente si ese fuera el propósito, pues ya lo hubieran desactivado y ya está. Pues ¿para qué van a querer seguir teniéndola activa y que esté leyendo como si aquí estuvieran, ya sabes, investigando algo de acá de México? Pues no, o sea, me explico, y más por el lugar en el que está. Entonces la tienen activa por alguna razón que va más allá de la lógica de lo que sería que perteneciera a alguien de aquí de la Tierra y que fuera ingeniería.
Sí, tienes toda la razón aquí. Yo te podría dar mi punto de vista al respecto. Lo que sí te puedo decir es que esa esfera, yo creo que no se dañó con ese posible choque eléctrico que tuvo con los cables, ¿no?
Exactamente.
¿Por qué? Porque estoy viendo cómo funciona, ya comprobé que efectivamente adentro la esfera puede generar su propia energía, que aunque ha perdido peso de manera instantánea, yo pienso que esa esfera nos la dejaron deliberadamente aquí en la Tierra.
No podría estar más de acuerdo, hermanito. Yeah, he's saying that he also feels, remember that you guys were asking about for the ones that were not present in our talk, but you were asking about why they think that once it hit the high voltage cable, it came down. And one of the theories that they were giving, according to classic physics, was that the electric arc that was generated in between the interaction of the Buga sphere and the high voltage cable, it created like a collapse in the Buga sphere system, and then it fall down, making it fall down. But as I was saying, like the way that it came down, it was so elegantly, like not when when something, like just
Right, it didn't just drop like a stone. It like floated down.
Exactly. It slowly came down, gracefully came down. So he was saying that he also agrees that it was deactivated for us to connect with it. It was given to us.
So then I was gonna, like, the Mac Daddy of all questions, like, do you think
So I
that it
wanted
was
to
intentionally
mention,
given to us? Then
you were
does he
talking
think
about the
that
fiber
they
optics.
wanted us to have this?
And
like,
fiber
what is
optics,
David's story
according
about?
to Jeremy Corso's
Who
book,
did this and
The
why?
Day After,
I don't think they can hear
was
each
one of
other.
the technologies being reverse engineered from ET technology. And so light is EMF, and fiber optics generally handle light. So I was just wondering if you guys had thought about using an optical isolation chamber, because like even human beings or potatoes even like give out photons, right? So the ways this thing is like communicating and reacting, I wonder photonically, just since it's got this dense, really sophisticated network of optical, fiber optics in it, that light might be a component as well as sound frequency.
Yeah. Thank you, Frank. Estaba preguntando, hermanito, que si en algún momento se ha puesto la esfera en una cámara oscura para ver si está emitiendo alguna señal eléctrica o luz, fotones, donde se le esté haciendo, ya sabes, como un estudio durante todo un día, donde se pueda ver el comportamiento de la esfera dependiendo de lo que está pasando alrededor y incluyendo como frecuencias, emitiéndole frecuencias y a ver cómo, acorde al espectro lumínico, es que está respondiendo.
No lo hemos hecho, no hemos dado seguimiento durante determinado tiempo a observar bajo esas condiciones. No, hemos hecho pruebas solamente de acuerdo a procedimientos establecidos, como por ejemplo para medir la radiofrecuencia. Para eso construí una jaula de Faraday, metimos la esfera y estuvimos viendo que no hubiera ninguna interferencia externa para poder afirmar y comprobar que la esfera estaba emitiendo radiofrecuencias. Pero no hemos hecho algo así como dejarla en un cuarto oscuro y ver qué es lo que pasa. Lo que sí pudimos observar fue algunos destellos de luz, es decir, unas respuestas ahí donde estaba la fibra óptica, pero eso fue antes de saber que ahí había fibra óptica. Sí vimos que hubo respuesta ahí en esos puntos. Ahora, también es importante mencionarles que tiene 31 puntos negros, es decir, muy posiblemente en esos 31 puntos haya fibra óptica. Es una posibilidad. Nosotros en la universidad se dieron cuenta porque pudieron espejo ese punto negro que estaban estudiando, entonces pudieron ver en el microscopio por el proceso de microscopía electrónica de barrido, que ahí había fibra óptica. Entonces, de esos 31 puntos, no todos penetran la carcasa de aluminio, solamente 2 de ellos penetran esa carcasa.
Ok, pero entonces todos los puntos alrededor tienen fibra óptica o solo dos.
No sabemos porque no se han pulido todos los otros puntos, no queremos alterar
Claro.
completamente la esfera. Por eso nada más se pulió un solo punto y fue donde se sacó la muestra para esa prueba de microscopía electrónica de barrido.
Okay, so what he is saying now is that no, those type of experiments they haven't done yet to the Buga Sphere. An spectrometer was used in the beginning. That's how they found out about the fiber optic, and then, but after that, no. The Faraday cage, who also is someone is asking there. Yes, the Faraday cage has been used. Actually, that was David created it. That's the first time that when we went to see the Buga Sphere, they had just taken out of a Faraday cage. Mainly the Faraday cage, what does is blocks all signals, you know, from the surrounding, you know. So that was used, and you know, like from that moment to now, like when I connected there and now when I have connected these other times, there is a huge range of difference in the energy of the sphere, you know, a huge difference. But anyway, yeah, he was saying mainly that, and that there are, hermanitos, son 31 o 32, porque yo recuerdo que se había mencionado que eran 32.
Son 31.
31?
Sí, son 31.
Mandela effect. I don't know, guys, about you guys, but I feel that the Mandela effect is crazily, you know, like all the time throughout this recent days. So apparently now there are 31 points. I could have sworn that there were 32. This is what I'm saying about the Mandela effect. But anyway, 31 points. And so why he mentioned this is because that's the reading. He was just talking about the fiber optic, you know, and that there still needs to be research done regarding to that, as most of the experiments that have been applied to the Buga Sphere have been non-invasive, because precisely we know that it's a lot like active. If they are made invasive tests, perhaps, you know, it would damage it in a way that it would stop working, you know. So this is why they don't want to take more samples from the rest of the what could potentially be fiber optic, you know, the other holes. But so far in those two have been shown that they only two are connecting to the whole sphere. The other dots, they just show like small cylinders, but not connecting to the core of the sphere, you know, to where the metamaterials could be. Just two.
So the two fiber optic cables, are they laid out symmetrically? Like, are they opposing each other, or are they kind of randomly placed more so?
They're like two eyes.
They are. So they're right next to each other?
No, it's one, then another no, and then the other yes.
Oh, so okay, there's one in the middle.
Yes,
Interesting.
exactly.
And so the other ones, I'm sorry if you already said this, but the other ones, I know you're saying you don't want to take samples because you don't want to be invasive, but have measurements been taken determining how deep some of those other holes are? I know you said they don't go all the way to the core, but are they maybe like an inch, or how deep roughly do you think?
Well, in the tomography, you can see it. The one that Sean showed recently. If you could show it, please, again.
And like, can you see
which video?
The tomography one, the one that has the the shape of the Tesla tower, whatever is. It's the easiest way to
Sure.
refer it, even though it's not accurate at all. But anyway, yeah, because then I can show to you like exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
Lucy, it's like we would need to. Do you have another image of the one that has like it's in black and white?
Sure. Let me get it.
Thank you.
Are those divots that we're seeing on the left and the right there, are those the holes, or is that something else?
No, that's porosity.
Okay.
That's porosity, and that is what David attributes to be at the type of adhesive that was used. Les estoy diciendo que ahí lo que se ve en una de las capas es lo que tú también relacionas con el adhesivo, hermanito.
Es correcto, sí. Precisamente el hecho de que no hayamos detectado la presencia de soldadura en una de las dos carcasas es porque muy posiblemente utilizaron un adhesivo estructural que también es trabaja por medio de dos componentes que reaccionan y al reaccionar generan energía, es decir, se eleva la temperatura de ese material, pero no rebasa los 50 grados centígrados,
Lo que habías dicho.
congruente con todo lo que hemos hablado. Entonces, sí se utilizó muy posiblemente un adhesivo estructural.
Yeah, how he names it, like just talking about the glue, is an structural adhesive, and that adhesive cannot go beyond, like, above the 50 Celsius, because and it's very cohesive to the whole story that the Buga sphere cannot hold above 72.8 Celsius. Be in like that beyond that temperature.
So are you saying that adhesive is in all of the holes, and then that's what's helping regulate temperature?
It's around the whole equator, and in the last tomography it could be shown even better, but no, I'm not seeing not even
So, like,
one
if you were to
image.
stick a toothpick in those holes, would you touch resin with the toothpick in every one of the holes?
Well, that's a good question. Perhaps it would be contaminated, I don't know, due to let me ask, due to the wood, but I
Like, if you
noticed.
put it under water, would water flow into the internal side of it, or does it have like a protective barrier that would keep out like liquid water or something like that?
Yeah, there are many tests that want to be done.
But you don't want to ruin it at the same time.
No, they are coming. They are coming.
Okay.
It's about that, and it's about other topics. But this upcoming months will be of full research. Hermanito, me preguntaba que si se ha metido a la esfera, por ejemplo, en un tanque de agua, para ver cómo responde a la estructura molecular de agua, o si en algún momento se piensa hacer algo así.
Nosotros no la hemos metido, no hemos hecho ese tipo de pruebas. La única referencia que yo he tenido de cuando le están poniendo agua, que fue uno de los videos que vimos hace rato, a mí me llamó demasiado la atención porque le pregunté a David Vélez, le pregunté, oye, la esfera la calentaste y después le pusiste el agua, porque yo veo que se evapora el agua. Y me dice, no, primero, la esfera estaba fría, echamos agua sobre ella y generó ese vapor de agua. Esto a mí me llamó enormemente la atención. Yo no tenía, hasta hasta ese entonces, cuando platiqué con él, no hemos hecho algunas de las pruebas, pero esto tiene que ver mucho, hermanita, digamos, con la composición química de ese aluminio o de esa aleación de aluminio. Tiene que ver mucho con ese sistema interno que hace que por mucho que genere en su interior esa gran cantidad de energía, porque es una cantidad de energía tremenda que se necesita para que levite un peso de 10 kilos. Es una cantidad enorme de energía.
Sí.
Entonces, de alguna manera esa energía no se refleja en temperatura. Digamos que tiene un efecto mínimo en cuanto a la generación de temperatura, pero porque también internamente tiene un sistema que regula esa temperatura y está interactuando con
Claro.
tanto la que se genera como la que recibe. Y entonces, si recibe mucho calor, la transforma en energía. Y esa energía que está generando ella no produce una cantidad de calor suficiente como para degradar la resina que contiene la fibra óptica. Entonces, para mí, la esfera tiene un sistema de autorregulación de temperatura. Y como te decía, esto viene de que la composición química tiene aproximadamente el 12% de contenido de silicio. Este componente, este elemento, lo que le da es una protección térmica a estas carcasas. Y esto solamente lo pudo haber diseñado alguien muy inteligente, alguien con conocimientos de termodinámica, con conocimientos de metalurgia, expertos, para terminar pronto, ¿no? Sí.
Para pronto.
Sí,
Sí.
un experto.
Okay, gracias, hermanito. So he's saying that no, again, you know, like those type of tests haven't been applied. It's very interesting what happened the first days that it from its appearance that they poured the water on it, and then, you know, like this steam came out of it without burning or without being hot. So what he thinks that could potentially be related to that is that it has like a thermal regulator, auto regulator, because as I mentioned earlier, you know, it's like it, along with the theory of the components that are creating like that are in the sphere, like the type of adhesive, like a structural adhesive, like its behavior and so forth, along with the fact that, you know, it's constantly in the same temperature. Perhaps it varies a little bit, but it doesn't go, you know, like immensely. So, but in order to make levitate like a sphere that weight, it's necessary like immense amounts of energy. And if you generate energy, you generate heat. So the sphere would be reaching like high amounts of heat. But the fact that it doesn't is because it has an auto regulation, you know? So that's a lot of technology, you know, like that's very good technology. And another thing that he was saying was that, oh, of course, that whoever made it, it's an expertise on thermodynamics, on, you know, like, of course, levitation, plasma physics, and many other things.
So, okay, one last question on that kind of bridges to, and then I'll pass it over to Nikki. When it comes to the creator of it, and more so your and David's like personal theories, because obviously you don't know for sure, but does it seem to you guys like it was being intelligently remotely controlled, or like it was under its own intelligent control when it was floating around? Like, was it being remotely piloted, or was it kind of just doing its own thing and then happened to, I know you think that it is here to help us and wanted to be studied. So like, do you think another group led it here, or it kind of just found its own way here?
Well, I will answer that, and of course, then I'll ask David. There are a lot of ancient artifacts that have already been dated, and they are legit, that have engravings of beings coming out and in of those spheres. Perhaps it's something regarding to plasma beings projecting themselves, like as a genie in a bottle. Perhaps it's just showing how they can transfer their consciousness through that nexus, and as how many spaceships work. So, but definitely there are very specific consciousnesses that are expressing themselves and communicating through that sphere. I had the most sublime experience in a meditation. A guy came to me, a being. It was full of light in the lotus position. And I was like, whoa. And then it took me to the epicenter of, let's say, the quantum circuitry, like source, from the quantum source all the way to, if you want to call it spiritual, whatever, but different layers of it. Then we were at David's house, and he was showing to us images of his book. By the way, guys, if you want to get his book, he's talking about all the research of the Buga Sphere, and he will be translating it into English as well. Ya te estoy haciendo la venta de libros, hermanito, pero bueno, ahorita voy. And then I was like, I didn't know what to say, because one of the pages shows a tablet with the same being that I saw. Like, I was perplexed. I was like, are you kidding me?
Can you describe a little more what that being looks like?
I could show to you a picture.
That'd be great.
Because
I'll get it up if I can.
Okay. I mean, I can send it to you, or yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Whichever.
Yeah. No. It's not those images. Let me.
Which artifact are you talking about?
No. It's not here. Let me.
Okay, well, I'll show some while you do that.
Well, you said it's kind of like responding differently now. Do you think that it's dying, or like it's turning off, or do you think it's getting better?
No, it wants us to communicate with it. It's like just waiting for us to crack the code. And we're on that. We are really near. Like, it's impressive because we have amazing members in the group, and yeah, we're definitely getting there. Here it is.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Has it ever tried to communicate? It's communicating telepathically. Has it ever tried to communicate via like technology, like actually, like kind of hacking into the phone and like texting it, messing with technology in that way? How has it interacted with technology on a communication basis?
Hermanito, ¿has visto si ha interactuado? Okay, well, before going there, let me ask him what you were asking, guys, and then I'm more than happy to ask what you were saying. David, me preguntan que si tú crees que es una conciencia local o no local la de la esfera, o sea, si es propia de la esfera o si está conectada a una red.
Mira, puedo contestar esa pregunta con una respuesta que está dividida. Si mi respuesta clavazo en la ciencia, te puedo decir que no es una conciencia local, sino que es un artefacto que lo está manejando una civilización muy avanzada en otro lado, quizás en otro planeta o en otra dimensión, o incluso aquí en la Tierra. Pero si te contesto ahora con toda la experiencia que tengo en la investigación sobre estos artefactos, yo te puedo decir que la esfera tiene una conciencia propia.
Okay, so he's saying that what type of answer do you want? Like a very scientific one, or a one that that comes mostly from his heart?
At this time, go woo. Go
Yeah,
from
go
your
the
heart.
go the heart.
We've had a lot of science tonight.
Well, he says that yes, like there is definitely a very specific consciousness coming from the sphere. You can even relate to it, and this is why I was showing this image, because you see how it's projecting itself to the sphere, or how it's coming from the sphere. This being, this beautiful being. So, and you will see many, not with this being, but yet many that there are other type of beings, kind of plasma beings coming from the spheres. So it's like their own vehicle. Perhaps it's a form also of a spaceship, but a very small one, because also these spheres have out of spaceships. And I am translating now a book that I got with all these codes, and it's clearly showing in the symbols how they are explaining how they are mother spheres that are connecting to the mothership, and how they're smaller spheres that are coming from those mother spheres, as the core of the nexus. And now about the other question. So can you repeat it to me, please? I'm sorry, I just went deep into the excitement.
Basically, has it at all tried to communicate in any sort of way with like technology, like kind of like texting things on your phone, like trying to create any sort of like
Lights flickering, or
like try to communicate in any sort of way using technology?
Yeah, well, we have used UV light, along with all the spinning that was when we used the most recent machine. There was like a lot of UV light projected to generate some type of a stimulation, and it responded. It has also been applied like 600 Gauss magnets, and it also interacts with different due to the different magnetic fields. But let me let David answer that. Hermanito, me dice que qué tipo de experimentos se han usado, además de los que hemos comentado, para estimular a la esfera. Ya les comenté de la luz ultravioleta que tú también mencionaste. Les estaba diciendo ahora de los magnetos también. Coméntanos, por favor.
Otra forma de estimular que no hemos probado es con impulsos electromagnéticos. También con hacerte incidir energía en forma directa. No lo hemos podido hacer. Tú lo sabes que para todos estos equipos se requiere comprar los equipos, hacerlos para la esfera. Y ha sido uno de los limitantes para poder estimularla de todas esas formas. Hay 6 formas básicas. Hemos puesto en práctica 3, pero nos hacen falta otras 3. Una que sería la emisión de frecuencias, pero todas al mismo tiempo. Y ir guiando las pruebas hasta determinado punto tener esas 6 incidiendo sobre la esfera. Y una de ellas es a través de ultravioleta, pero en los puntos específicos y dejarla fija ahí.
Así
Esto es lo que ya vimos con la máquina para hacerla rotar. También, ya lo mencioné, los pulsos electromagnéticos, la energía directa, es decir, de alguna manera meterle carga, y a través de luz ultravioleta, que ya lo hicimos, y por ahí se me está pasando otro, son 6 puntos básicos.
Oye, ¿y el de pulsos electromagnéticos, qué respuesta dio?
No, nos falta hacerlo.
Ok. Es que te escucho un poco lejos, pero ok, qué bueno que pregunté.
Voy a
Gracias.
acercar un poquito.
Sí, gracias. Ajá.
Sí, te digo, el de los pulsos electromagnéticos, ese no lo hemos hecho. El de emisión de frecuencias tampoco
Yes.
lo hemos puesto en práctica. Y ahí lo importante sería tenerlos todos en conjunto y irlos variando.
Okay.
Y bueno, pues eso ahí nos arrojarían datos muy importantes, porque ya vimos que tan solo con rotarla tuvimos excelentes resultados. Hicimos bajar del peso de esfera hasta 2.6 kilos de manera instantánea.
Gracias, hermanito. Well, it's maybe, like once we do again the experiment with the spinning machine, we will be applying other type of stimulations, like the ones that you were asking, including electromagnetic pulses, like the frequency generator with the Platini plates, like all together to see that response, and also like for longer periods of time, which is also super because there is like a lot of research that needs to be done, and of course all of this equipment and all of this requires many things, so we're getting there.
So the inside of it appears to be static, right? It's not like it doesn't appear to have moving parts on the inside.
Well, yes, it does. This is why the tomography shows different patterns every time. Because
So if you were to move it around or shake it, can you feel like something moving or a gyroscopic effect or something?
No, this is why we believe that it's a type of plasma, a type of gas, along with other metamaterials that are interacting with one another, and but nothing solid.
Nothing
So
solid, as in you don't know that it is solid on the inside. Like there could be movement, or
it's not likely that there is something inside of it. Perhaps there is, but for now the theories are more pointing out to plasma, and that makes a lot of sense with the fact that there could be a consciousness, interacting back and forward, transferring its consciousness, and creating different densities through its own plasma physics technology that would, be consistent to have this behavior. Because otherwise, imagine, like you take a tomography into your brain, or to have a regular brain. Now you have a triangular brain. Now you have like a balloon brain. It's like, what's going on there? There's more about the type of matter that we know. Me preguntaba que del tipo de la composición interna de la esfera, hermanito, que si tú crees que sería algo físico, alguna torre de Tesla por ahí, o algo más.
No, yo creo que algo físico ahí, que digamos, la torre de Tesla, yo no creo que sea eso. Ahí hay unos metamateriales, como les comenté, pero también a la formación de estos metamateriales ahí en su interior, al momento de la reacción química, hay desprendimiento de gas, hay gases ahí. Y muy posiblemente tengamos plasma. Y el hecho de tener plasma no quiere decir que tenemos altas temperaturas o que ya hubieran fundido la esfera, no. El plasma lo podemos tener a temperaturas bajas también, pero a determinadas condiciones. Y esas condiciones las generan estos metamateriales.
Okay, so he's saying, yeah, that like something solid. And I'm sorry if we laugh, guys, but we have like a very specific local joke regarding to the Tesla tower. So that's why we laugh when we talk about that. But it has nothing to do with the questions or anything else. It's a local joke that we have. But anyway, so then what he says is that it's very much consistent to a plasma. If we see the image, like that scan, that tomography that was taken that has that shape, you will see that within the three densities, there is one where the circular part is, that it seems like it's leaking some type of component, like some type of that very same density. It's lighter, yet it's the very same color. So this is why, like whether if it's liquid, whether if it's plasma, but there, you see in the bottom, like that shady red, that's very consistent to something like moving beyond that very defined image. So yeah.
So that could be the gas itself that's forming that shape, not necessarily something physical.
Exactly. Because then again, like last tomography that was taken, it showed something else.
Right. So it can change.
Yeah.
But if you were to shake it, you wouldn't necessarily hear like a liquid or anything like that moving.
No.
If it's just gas, you wouldn't hear it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or unless it would be super tight, if it was, let's say, something solid, it would have to be super tight so that there wouldn't be like any range of sound within elements, or objects. Nevertheless, we can see in that very same tomography that there is not that level of compression in the sphere. There are things that are moving. So if there was something, for instance, even liquid or solid, when the time that you move it, it would sound, unless it had like a barrier against, sound. But I don't think so. Otherwise, the wave emissions that it's bringing into the field through the scanners and the all their machines that we're using wouldn't be that strong.
Makes me wonder if the plasma rotates when it is doing its anti-gravity effects, because I know in a lot of mass reduction type technologies, it involves torsion rotation fields of plasma or mercury or superconductors. So I wonder if that's something that will come up in further tests or data, or if you've seen any hints of that so far, like internal rotation.
Well, you know what, it would be super interesting, and it's regarding to what YssaH is. I'm sorry. Okay, that was meant to go in Spanish.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Hermanita, yo ya estaba traduciendo en inglés.
Hermanita,
Dime.
quisiera adicionar respecto al plasma. A este tipo de plasma que yo hablo se llama plasma frío o plasma no térmico, y tiene determinadas características dentro de una de las aplicaciones que tiene este plasma. Es que se utiliza donde se requiere una ionización controlada, y esto tiene que ver mucho con que esta esfera, cuando se le grabó, también en la parte superior, es decir, en el hemisferio norte, se veían luces, se veía que cambiaba de colores esa parte de la esfera. La esfera no tiene luces, no tiene focos, no tiene LEDs, no tiene nada de eso, y este es un reflejo que es muy posiblemente que ahí tengamos plasma, porque se ve la ionización que hay en la parte superior y que son los colores que se ven como luz.
Okay. Okay. Super, hermanito. Gracias. What he's saying, he just wants to point out some information about the plasma, the type of plasma that he's referring to, and it's a cooled plasma with a very, let's say, controlled ionization. Because when the sphere was captured, was seen for the first time, or like levitating, they said that they even saw some lights coming from above of the sphere. So if we take into
Wait,
consideration
from the sphere or from another source above it?
like just above, like in the surface of
Okay.
the sphere. So perhaps in the beginning, people thought that it was because it had light on it, some type of LED or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it doesn't have that. Yeah. So with the ionization, the controlled ionization, that could be
Right.
happening.
Illuminating. Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Que gracias, hermanito. Does anyone have any other question? Anything else? ¿Tu hermanito quieres comentar algo más?
I was just going to show you, I've shown it to you before, but you were talking about the being, or when you were meditating, what you saw. And I had this artifact, and I've got my brother's computer and it's popping up all these crazy things all over. Let me see if I can get rid of them. Okay. Okay. Dismiss. Okay. Just want to show everybody that, please. Okay. Well, can you see?
Oh, yeah. Oh, ow. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
A really cool one, Frank.
anyway, yeah, anyway, that came to mind. I have to be at the airport in a minute anyway, so I've got to run, but thank you, everybody.
No, thank you for joining us, Frank.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Bye. Talk to you.
Okay,
Talk
bye.
to you later. Bye. Ya viste la imagen, hermanito, que nos la quería mostrar. ¿Te parece al...?
Muy interesante, porque ahí se ve que en el cuerpo hay una generación de energía. Nuestro cuerpo es energía.
Así es.
Ahí precisamente está grabado eso.
Está el cuerpo de plasma, hermanito. It's showing inside the plasma body, like, yeah, that's amazing. And even it has the shell with the perfect the golden ratio proportion in the heart, so yeah. Anyway,
Ahora, I have one question. So
Okay, adelante. No, adelante.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a little bit of audio problems.
Yeah, don't worry.
The artifacts, have you actually had them interact with the Buga Sphere before?
Yeah, we have put them next to the artifacts, yet we're also coming to a conclusion that some of the artifacts might be having the specific components that will generate resistance and electroconductivity that would play the role as boards to signal into the Buga Sphere. So that's also that something that we're taking into consideration. Me pregunta que si se han puesto a interactuar diferentes artefactos ya como desde un punto de vista experimental, no solo por frecuencia o resonancia, sino a nivel experimental con la esfera de Buga, hermanito.
When we bring the artifacts, the Buga Sphere responds and gives a lot of thank yous. So it seems to like, especially if you bring ones with the chips. So I recommend it.
Adelante, hermanito.
Mira, ahorita no hemos realizado algún experimento con algún artefacto y tratar de conectarlo con la esfera de Buga desde el punto de vista científico. Pero me ganó el abordar el tema con los artefactos que estamos descubriendo bajo tierra. Yo creo que este es un tema muy importante porque esta esfera nació conectada con esos artefactos. Quiero platicarles y hacerles saber de cuando yo tuve la primera fotografía de un artefacto que tenía un chip de la esfera de Buga. Yo pensé que a partir de ese artefacto iba a venir una, digamos, por llamarle así, una oleada de piezas que iban a salir bajo la tierra, precisamente por el llamado de la esfera. Es decir, la esfera está emitiendo una frecuencia y esa frecuencia llega hasta abajo de la tierra. De tal manera que lo comenté con Norberto. Tú lo sabes, hermanita, lo comenté con él cuando tuvimos la segunda pieza, que fue una esfera de piedra que salió en Tula.
Ajá.
En este momento estábamos trabajando con la esfera de Buga y me llama un amigo, me dice, oye, acabamos de desenterrar una esfera, pero es de piedra, quiero que la vengan a ver. Sí, claro. Dejé la esfera de Buga y me fui a ver la esfera de piedra. A partir de eso, mi comentario fue, de aquí en adelante van a surgir una gran cantidad de piezas bajo la tierra. Esa esfera estaba llena de ojos por todos lados, igual estaba hecha en dos carcasas y adentro había otra esfera. Lo que nos mostraba en su interior esa esfera es de que esa ramificación de fibra óptica va desde el chip hasta el Ecuador, donde la encontramos realmente en la esfera de Buga. O sea, coincide con todos estos elementos y con todas las características que ya hemos platicado de la esfera. Pero es muy interesante porque hay una conexión directa con los artefactos.
Gracias, hermanito. He says that, again, like going, not only touching upon the scientific approach, like the connection that he has had with the Buga Sphere from the beginning, it has been like very deep. And when the Buga Sphere appeared, then like we received this message, he received this message that like as a wave of expansion, there would be a lot of artifacts, appearing with that very same code, And the thing is that there are not only like artifacts that all of a sudden, like are being unearthed. Yes, yet a lot of people, even before the Buga Sphere appeared, they had already the artifacts that had that code. Like, for instance, that jaguar skull, our dear friend Norberto had it even before the Buga Sphere appeared. So,
and have those chip artifacts, have they mostly been in the region you're in, or have they also been found in like Colombia?
Everywhere. No,
Mm.
en Colombia, no that we know. No, no han habido artefactos en Colombia, ¿verdad? No.
So only Mexico right now, or any other places?
Ha habido publicaciones falsas en Facebook, pero en Colombia no ha habido ningún hallazgo de artefactos. Solamente.
Hello?
Oh, I think
He froze.
he cut out.
Yeah, not
David, come back to us.
No.
Oh, maybe his laptop died or something.
Well,
Okay.
David gone.
Ask some questions. Bring up some facts, YssaH, that can be answered without David until he gets back.
that's where I'm heading to. What he was mainly saying is that no, there have been like false news regarding to this. Like we all really need to be very aware of all the false media because it's hitting hard. They're using a lot of AI. Like I made just a video to make very public the fact that Bob Lazar was not involved in the project because there was like this video circling that a lot of friends, sent to me like, oh, wow, is this true? And I was like, no, perhaps at some point, not yet. And so, yeah, like they were saying that there were artifacts also appearing in Colombia, but no, only in Mexico, which is very interesting that even the sphere arrived to Mexico. It's like so orchestrated and that all over Mexico, different states, not only, for instance, just in one, in Tula, let's say, in many have been showing up. So that's also very, very interesting. And we do believe, we do feel that they are signaling to one another. It's so like we're talking about very advanced form of technologies. They work through with the quantum field. They work through the unified consciousness. So they are bringing huge codes. And, like now with all this disclosure coming up, it's very interesting how there are many forces trying to discredit it, to make it look fiction again. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if more will be discovered outside of Mexico or
I'm sorry.
even in America or other parts of Central and South America, or even on other continents, perhaps.
Well, there are huge indigenous, like Native American prophecies, like the Hopi and Navapai, that say that there will be from the red land emerging non-terrestrial technologies, and that it's the native people that will be bringing it and presenting them to humanity.
What is the red land?
Well, I think you live there. Well,
I was gonna say, is it where I think it is?
Yeah, like the Red Canyon, Sedona, like Arizona, like all of these places. And they even talk about the red feathered maiden, like that type of phoenix form of figure, the solar feminine, like and everything that is happening with the sun. But what I what I just want to point out is that for me, the elders, the indigenous tribes, hold very important codes to this. They have been guardian keepers, and they know how to activate them. They know how to work them, and yet they are so humble that they are just putting it out, so that we step up and start communicating with them and activating them at a deeper layer. And for me, the communication that each one has is unique. It's like a form of that fractality, that unity, that unicity within the unity. So like for instance, like there is a different consciousness in each sphere, even though they are higher, like in roles. But I also feel that there are different consciousnesses, as I was saying. Like, okay, I don't want to use my whole arc or my whole spaceship. You know, let's take the beetle for now, and then you bring in the sphere, and you just project your consciousness, and then you're just there. You know, like overseeing the whole place. So yeah.
So speaking of other spheres, one thing I was going to ask him that I'm sure you know his opinion on, or your own opinion too, like, are there any other spheres that feel as legit as the Buga Sphere, that are Buga Sphere style, that that team is looking into as a possible connection to the phenomena?
Well, there has been another sphere appearing in a city next to Buga
Mhm.
that they say that it has the same characteristics, the
Mm.
same, even the counterclockwise spin.
And they have that in Buga still?
No, it didn't. They didn't capture it. They just
Oh, it was flying.
in the area.
Uh,
There have been other artifacts as this one appearing in. This is from Guerrero and Michoacan. In Michoacan, there are a lot of these ones.
Mm.
However, they haven't been seen like levitating. They have
so these
been,
ones are being dug up. They're underground.
yes,
Okay.
some of them, yes. Unfortunately, some of them, like we just need to run tests, you
Yeah.
know, on all of them before, you know, like saying, okay,
It's
this
real.
is, yeah,
Right.
that's what it is, you know. So, but for type of a spectral sphere as the Buga, just the other one, and there have been a lot now seen in United States, places like Nevada, in Las Vegas. There have been even finding, you know, like small
Mm.
spheres, very heavy ones,
Yeah.
and bigger ones.
Well, somebody in the comments, Sunfire Goddess, mentioned Moki balls. Are you familiar with those?
No, what are they?
They're similar spheres. They're not reflective metallic like these spheres. They're more like an iron sphere, but they're found throughout the Southwest in America, primarily like Arizona, Nevada, Utah. And there's like male and female versions. I might have it backwards, but the males are more perfectly spherical, kind of like similar to that shape, but no designs. It's just like a black sphere. And then the females have more of a ring around them, like a UFO, kind of like some of the artifacts you guys are finding, but nothing with inscriptions, just something that appears to be natural, but, you know, hard to explain.
Yeah, now I remember. Yes, I had heard about them.
They're very cool. I had a couple at one point before passing them on to someone else. But they were gifted to me and then gifted to someone else, but they were very, very energetically dense. Definitely felt like it had a spirit or an intelligence to it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing, JC.
So were any of those, I know you said the artifacts of the chips have been found before the Buga was found. Have any of these similar spheres been found before the Buga was found, or has it only been since then that they've been dug up?
Of the spheres, I don't know directly. I have heard that many artifacts had already the Buga chip code, different forms, different shapes, but not precisely whether if it was a sphere or not. You know, that I can say. But yeah, who knows? You know, the one that I do know directly from, like the source that got it before the Buga Sphere, is the Jaguar skull, which is from Geo Aliens, Norberto, a very, very good friend. And, you know, it's like 100% legit.
And that was found before the Buga was found?
Before the Buga Sphere. Before. Yeah,
Interesting.
even he took that skull to Jaime.
Mm,
He had it for a while next to the Buga Sphere.
interesting.
Yeah.
So Jaime must have already been, when he saw the chip on the Buga, he was already familiar with that design, probably.
Well, he take it after he found the Buga Sphere. Like,
okay.
yeah, like he say, "Hey, Jaime, you know what? I have this skull that has the same chip. You know, you've got to see it." So then Jaime was, "Okay, I do need to see this." So
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
One
Yes.
comment, like I spent some time in Colombia in 2020, and I have a couple of friends there. And I told my friend last night that I was going to be doing this, my Colombian friend, and I said, "What do you know about the Buga Sphere?" And he had no idea what the Buga Sphere was. And then he was like, "Oh, Buga, Colombia. I've been there." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. Well, what do you have to say about Buga?" And what did he say?
The
Brian,
sphere.
what did
The
he
sphere.
say? Yeah. No, not about the
The
sphere. He said,
just
he was like,
go-
"Oh, it's like a Buga is a place of magic. It's like they have a lot of magical things in that town, and people go there." He's like, it's like a weird little town that you go to. He's like, "I've been there. You go there to get healed. Like people go get miraculously healed in Buga." And I was
Wow.
like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Oh, wow. That's a good data on that. Hermanito, vas a necesitar volver a salir y entrar porque dice que tus aparatos no están conectados. No se ve la cámara ni tu audífono. That's super interesting, Nikki. Super, super interesting.
And the other interesting thing is that, like, when I went in 2020, the reason I went is because I was chasing a Atlantis portal. Like, there is apparently an active Atlantis portal that's literally only 30. Well, it's a couple hours, as I don't know. It's not that far from where actual Buga is. But anyway, that's a whole other big story. But I mean, they have stories of Atlanteans who have an active breakaway civilization in Colombia. Like that's like a kind of like a move. Oh, I have some of those philosopher stones. Our prophecy stones, they have some of those are cool. But yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, I sometimes I've, like, when I'm seeing this story and hearing the story, I think like I think like there might actually be like somebody, like a civilization that's within our civilization that's cloaked, that this is part of their technology that they let out. So I don't know, but that's just, it's interesting though, because like if when I meet you, I'll tell you the whole story in person. But
Yeah.
it's really interesting correlation with the Buga Sphere.
David just popped in, but his mic wasn't working. So
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. Like, seriously, this is so synchronistic that sometimes it's like you cannot make this up. You know, like it's, yeah. I love it. I feel very grateful and excited and humble for everything that we're experiencing and sharing, and how we're all coming together, how it all makes sense, and it doesn't need to be so complicated. You know, we have been coming from super complicated in order for it to be real, and now it's simpler, and it's as the cosmos.
and
It's like the consciousness and the time is ready for it.
right. And these markings have been seen as like either pre-Sanskrit, and there's like Hindu cultures that still have them, but they're found all around the planet in different things, and people are noticing the translation. And of course, if you want, I can bring out the translation of the Buga Sphere of what they found from the pre-Sanskrit people, if you want, for the live audience. And there's, if you remember, there's a movie in Disney with, was Atlantis, the Fallen Empire. So it has similar symbols to this, but not exactly. It's just
So what
intricate.
is that clear one made of? Is that like a quartz kind of crystal, or is it more of a glass?
It's the
It's
calcite.
calcite.
Oh, calcite. Wow, that's really pretty.
Yeah, but it's doped with a type of aluminum phosphate. Aluminum phosphate doped in terbium, because due to its phosphorescence properties.
So when you say doped, what does that mean exactly? Like the surface has been treated with it, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like, yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like when in modern day, I know some of the crystal shops will do the like titanium coating with the quartz or whatever, and it gives it that aura quartz finish. So similar to that.
Yes, exactly, but with terbium. And yeah, actually, David has been doing some experiments on that, and the level of phosphorescence that he's reaching in the pieces that he's doping, it's surreal. It's yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Does that one glow
Yeah.
under black light?
Yeah,
Wow.
all of them do. I can bring up images of it, and then afterwards, if you'd like, before whenever you guys want to end the stream, I can, because somebody wanted the pre-Sanskrit red, and then maybe you guys can let us know what you think of that interpretation.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And thank you guys for coordinating this and hosting this, and holding the space and having David and translating. It's been wonderful. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
For the space.
And also, we can't hear Jace or Sean. We can only hear YssaH for some weird reason. So I did turn it on this thing. So I was wondering if maybe YssaH can read the translation so that I could hear what's going on. Sorry, Sean, I can't hear you or Jace for whatever reason.
You really can't hear me? Oh my God.
That's weird, but we have been like the Buga Sphere field has definitely been present.
Oh yeah, felt the Buga Sphere for sure.
Okay, so here it goes. And well, David sent also a message that it's raining like really strong, and something happened with the electrics there. So there you go.
That's all good. He gave a lot of his time, so I'm grateful.
Yeah. And I will have to go soon, guys, in a bit. But like sharing with all love, like the message that Dr. Agnese decoded from the symbols above. It says, in the great beginning, the primordial moment, the Spirit, through the Word, brought forth the birth of the races and lineages, leaving everything infused with the purpose of spreading and offering to the sun, to the heavens, the radiance and light of the universe, and the realm of the 7 worlds, of the planets and the gods. Then came the lunar phases, the harvests, and the sowing. The earth was secured, and cultures were formed. Guided by the 2 principal movements, each with its own direction, abundance, teaching, and knowledge came into being. This was manifested from the highest, the most sublime, and the most perfect. It was then that the vortex was created with a great thunderous sound. Likewise, the wheel of time was formed, the astronomical wheel revealing itself in the cycles of the earth. Afterwards, the Absolute, the Most High, drew nearer to bestow the manifestation of goodness and the generation of virtues, reverence for the sacred, devotion to truth, and the expression of spiritual strength and heroism through harmony and perfect synchronicity. Thus was established the resonance of the 30 gods. After accomplishing this, the great vessel of Indra, commanded by the god of the atmosphere and the sky, moved freely with a mighty roar, where he had entrusted the solar warrior with ending the evil upon the earth. Finally, after the vessel departed, it left a warning of danger, a possible breaking of the world through atomic disasters, solar explosion, or destruction, where all could end by our own decision and responsibility. Thus, the great vital essence the breath and creation of life itself could be destroyed forever.
Wow. And that came from AI translation, is that right? Or how is that translated?
It was in Spanish, and then it was translated by AI, but the original translation is in Spanish. So
That's what's from what's
Yeah.
on the sphere?
yes,
Okay.
well,
Two Sanskrit scientists, different,
Okay.
did them on their own without comparing notes. Pre-Sanskrit scientists, they translated pretty much the same thing, and then this is the amalgamation of it. Each symbol has quite a number of options around the same variant, and all applied for in the translation.
yeah, Dr. Agnese has a PhD in ancient tongues. So she found out that the symbols are very much consistent to a prior form of Sanskrit. So I have also been doing some research, and impressively, yet not surprisingly, some of those codes are also found, for instance, in Sabaic language, which is in the southern part of Middle East. And for instance, the first word symbol that Dr. Agnese says that it's the beginning in Sabaic language, it's related to the mouth, which is the word, which is the beginning of. If you put the dot along with, so it's like, it is like the very same, like using one equation for everything. Once you get the basics, then you can translate it in many, many, many languages. So I think this is very much connected to that. Also, like these symbols have been seen in Atlantean language. Like there are books of Platon and Socrates that show the ancient Atlantean language, and you will see some of those symbols.
It's really amazing to me how even with the language jumps, how clear that message still comes through and how much it resonates. And like for me in particular, one of the things that really resonated was the reference of the 7 worlds, because in the Law of One books, which I really resonate with, the raw channelings, they talk about the 7 density octave model, which correlates to the 7 chakras, the 7 notes in a musical scale. And so the 7 worlds, and then earlier we were talking about the densities and the different densities, and it possibly coming down to kind of manifest more in this density, and that being a catalyst for the weight change and other things. So it really resonates. And then the part about what you were saying about the world kind of being manifested is very mirroring of almost Genesis in the Bible, the book of Genesis, right? So fascinating.
Yeah, and it also talks about the Indra spaceship, the solar arc, and the 30 gods. Like for instance, even if you go to the decoding of the Tetragrammaton and the name of Yahweh, that has nothing to do with the religion, yet the algorithms of the very same letter, the word, you will see that it's a 4, it's a 3, which is a 7. So all of these algorithms, and then you add, for instance, to that 4 and 3, then you add the 5 points of the Tetragrammaton. So then you have a 12. So then you have another coherence. So it's algorithms. It's crazy how it's all embedded in everything. It's like I just imagine sometime like just putting this goggles and seeing all the patterns of light. Well, sometimes I do, but like seeing the patterns of light and how, due to those algorithms, they are creating different tones, and how it all creates a symphony, and how you can access to the egregores through those tones. So yeah,
amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has been cool. This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. And by the way, again, like David apologized because he couldn't make it back again. He said that at some point he would be trying, but the electric storm was super hard, so super strong.
I get that. Cool. We made it 3 hours, y'all.
Yeah.
I know. Where we were having fun, so that's a good sign.
Thank you so much for translating everything, YssaH. I bet you that's like double hard because you're kind of going like my answer, his answer doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
Juggling that. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love different languages, so yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you both.
I
And
thank you all that watched this show. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say, tell David thank you so much for giving his time to us today, and thank you again to you both too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And Sean, thanks for the visuals. That helped a lot.
Yeah, try to make it in between because I know a lot of the audience isn't speaking Spanish. So, you know, help keep people's attention.
And she can't hear
Thank
you right now, so they've got the visuals are what they are relying on.
Oh, right. Yeah, thank
Yay.
you. That was amazing. That was amazing, bringing all those images. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and so for everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe to all our channels, share this far and wide. Get this to all the people that you know as alien people want in amplify in disclosure truth. Get it out to the skeptics because this is the people that barely touched their toes in the water in this subject. It just blows them away with how much evidence there is. And it's a little disappointing, but you know how that is. And can you guys list how people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so for me, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/cosmic origins, and you can find all my social media links in the description of any of those videos. Also Cosmic Origins on Instagram, but the O is a 0 on the Instagram handle. And if you want to send me an email, cosmicorigins777@gmail.com.
Well, yeah, it's interesting.
Social media is also your own.
Yeah, but just let me say something. It's very funny, JC, because you are very much into the 7, and we were talking about the 7. And before someone sent that message to the private chat, there were 77 messages on the private chat.
Nice. How cool.
Yeah.
7's everywhere today.
Yeah.
And how other platforms people can reach you on? You're on Instagram, X, or any? And what projects you have coming up? Any conferences, events?
Yeah, so my X is also Cosmic Origins, and then my website is consciouscrypto.info, and that's where I do cryptocurrency coaching. So if you're interested in learning about how to invest in cryptocurrency, we have a conscious spiritual community that integrates all of the awakening material with crypto. So it's not just the boring 3D stuff, like we're about the spiritual side of it. So consciouscrypto.info, and then if you go to like my YouTube, you can find the rest of my social media links in there. That's probably the easiest way. And then for Nikki, YssaH, you might have to tell Nikki, since she can't hear us right now, to
translate for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for reminding me, because I keep forgetting it. Nikki, so if you can share with us, how can people find you, both of you?
Okay, yeah, I'm Nikki Anna Jones at I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, but mainly YouTube is my thing. And then I'm on all kinds of podcasts. So anywhere you find a podcast, so you just put, it's like Indiana Jones, but Nikki Anna Jones. You know, there you go.
Okay, and any upcoming events, anything that you want to share?
Not really any events. I mean, you know, I think I'm going to try to do a lot more live streams and upload a lot more. So you could just find it. And I have I have over 200 plus interviews. So lots of content for people. It's kind of evergreen content. I tend to do like what is this person all about interviews. And then, you know.
Okay, nice. Any secret, uncomfortable secret that you want to reveal? I'm just kidding.
Anything from Joaquin's? If Joaquin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I have a small channel called Esoteric Wisdom. So you can go follow that. Follow me on Instagram too. It's Diego Escobar 1776. So I post some 5D stuff there. So
where are you from, Joaquin?
Like where I grow up? Yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles.
But do you have any?
Yeah, my dad speaks Spanish. He's Mexican, so.
Oh, qué bien.
Definitely, I'm connected to the where the Buga is at right now.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Anything else, you guys, Nikki, Joaquin, that you want to share? Well, Nikki already, but you, Joaquin, anything else besides your channel?
I think like it's weird because like I do think I am getting weird pings about the Buga Sphere, so I'm looking forward to deep diving,
dealing with the
deeper
energy
with it. Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of get like telepathic kind of stuff from it, which is weird that that's happening to me. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a particular moment yesterday where I felt like it pinged me, and I could specifically tell in that moment it was like communicating with me, and it was really interesting.
Good point. If anyone gets telepathically communicated, dreams, visions, before going to sleep, all that of the Buga Sphere, come back to this video, comment below, and let us know. YssaH, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, my YouTube channel, the same as my name, YssaH. I'm going to pronounce it in English because it will be easier for you guys. Arsari Libyen. And my Facebook, YssaH Arsliv. Instagram, likewise, as YouTube channel, Facebook, www.acna/HUNUH.com. It's in the beginning of the introduction of this video. I know that the name is kind of different. So, but it's very much related actually to that code, to the Buga Sphere code, which is the ACNA key that I call it that way before the Buga Sphere appeared. And so upcoming presentations, CLE in LA, February, I will be talking about the ancient artifacts from a scientific and spiritual approach. I will be on the alien event, March. Sedona, Rise of the Guardians, May. And then the Day of Being, and a retreat after, return to being. Then June, the star knowledge, and upcoming trips for sure. So stay tuned because we will be having a trip to Mexico, Egypt, upcoming collaborations, which is very exciting. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you so much, you all. I love you guys. Yeah, I was talking about that today. You will see the clip, Sunfire Goddess, with David Serrita. He was talking about YssaH and its connection to Jesus. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing interest to this, to the Buga Sphere. It is a huge message and huge implications and influence regarding to this stage of human evolution. So thank you, guys.
Yeah.
How about you, Sean?
I'm Sean Bond, founder of Sonic League, sonicleague.com, Sonic League YouTube, all around Sean Bond or Sonic League on all the platforms. You can reach me, Sonic League, for consultations, clearings, healings, unlocking your dormant abilities, depossessions, abundance, all the things. Going into alien artifacts, feel free to contact me for alien artifact wisdom and interaction if you want to become a contactee, or you're interested in our sacred trips to Mexico and unlock your dormant abilities. Go to a place of power, pyramids, and hot springs, and cool adventures like never before. Nobody can do. See us both. We're going to be holding those, me and YssaH. So, and let us know. Contact us all, sonicleague@gmail.com, if you're interested in having any of us for more interaction, information for the Buga Sphere. If you're looking out for interviews, you can reach us out all our information. Conferences, trade, commerce, cryptocurrency, bring it, help support us, get it out there. We're willing to reach out to you guys and help you guys in your life and we can all rise together in these connections. Any last words of wisdom you guys want to bring to the crowd before we end the show?
Stay open. So the world of mystery is before you. That's all I would say.
Thank you. Nikki, Joaquin, do you want to say any last words before wrapping up this live transmission?
No, just like, this is an exciting time to be alive, guys, and this is really the coolest, biggest thing. If you really like get into the weeds of this, like, this is cool. Like, I don't know why they're not 8,000 people on our live stream right now. Like, that's like cool shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think, like, you know, we got to be the way walkers, and then people will just kind of be like, wait, what? Yeah. So we got to explain to people why this is cool, because it's
basically Transformers. Like,
it's
the Buga Sphere is kind of like a, you know.
Yeah, we have like advanced
they're
technology
Autobots
that's like, so
coming in.
like, what? Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, super cool.
Yeah, it is exciting moments. Actually, a part of what I will be sharing in the conferences is how all of this technology is reverse engineering our biology and how we can activate it through our own biological system as a unified consciousness. You know, it's exciting. It's exciting. I don't want to get into the numbers now. I just want to say thank you all, like HUNUH.
Thank you.
Very
Love
great.
you guys.
I feel very expanded, heart expanded. So
Me too.
You guys for getting it out there.
Yeah.
That was fun, guys. Thanks again.
And thank you to the ones that had to leave earlier. Thank you, David. And all
A Journey to Truth, and Amanda and Frank.
Exactly. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Frank, Amanda, and Aaron. Yeah. I could stay for hours, but yeah, okay.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 another time, maybe.
Fade off into that good night. Yeah. Okay. Good night, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah.